Yo, what is good? What's happening? Welcome to another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. It's your boy, IFBB PRO Matt Butale, and today I'm going to be talking about the truth about online coaching. So, if you were ever skeptical with online coaching or just like buying anything on the internet ever in your life, this is the episode you should listen to. All right. This is probably something that I needed to listen to about 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago. All right. So, I'm going to be talking about some things, some misconceptions that people often usually confuse or misrepresent or misunderstand when it comes to online coaching, okay, and the actual effect, the impact that it could have, and that the impact that it does or could have is greater than any form of other training ever that could ever be provided. Granted, the specific scenarios where, like, if you're a professional athlete and you have someone in person working with you, that's something separate, and I'm still going to be talking about that. We're going to be attacking this or approaching this from every single angle so that we can get you to understand if online coaching is worth it for you or not worth it for you. All right, so without wasting any time, we'll be diving into today's episode. I just want to let you know that if you do have comments or questions or anything relating to that, drop them now and I'll answer them at the very end of this podcast episode. Joe says I'm the only one on here. So we're streaming on Instagram, we're streaming on TikTok, we're streaming on YouTube, we're streaming on Facebook and Twitter at the same time. So you're not the only one here, but I appreciate you for being the only one here for the time being. Tyson, what's good? I appreciate you. Again, also, if you have any comments, if you have any questions, as I just said, you can ask them, you can drop them. I won't be responding to you immediately. That doesn't mean I'm ignoring you. I'm just focusing on getting a good soundbite for those of you that are listening on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. All right. So, got to be fair to them. You guys are here live and direct. We can chill after the episode is done. All right. So, with that said, and with that out the way, we'll be diving into today's episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yo, what's good, meatheads? Hope you're having an amazing day, and welcome to another episode of the Meathead on the Mic podcast. It's your returning champion, IFBB Pro, Matt Butale, coming at you with another topic. Okay, and today I'll be breaking down the ins and outs of online coaching to see if it's a method that works for you. Okay, so it doesn't work for everybody, but we're going to be talking about if it works for you, some of the pros, some of the cons, and we're also going to be comparing it to other forms of training. Okay, we're going to be comparing it to other forms of training that you're familiar with, like in-person training. Mainly those two. We're going to compare those two. All right. So we're going to be talking about the pros, cons, everything in between. If it's worth it for you, if it's not worth it for you, and hopefully that helps you make your decision as we head into the new year. Given that you're probably thinking of a new me. All right. So if you've been contemplating on hiring a coach, whether it's in person, whether it's online, this is a must listen. Okay, because you need to compare the pros and cons before you invest. All right, but before we dive in, please invite or share one or more to one or more friends that need to hear this message, that are contemplating, that are thinking about getting a coach, because this is the episode that you don't want them to miss. All right, so let's get into this. The common misconception or the common notion that I get from those people, from people that either have tried it and failed or haven't tried it, about when it comes to online coaching, is that online coaching sucks. Online coaching isn't in person. Online coaching isn't something that is sustainable or something that can actually provide results. That's like the common notion, that in-person training is better than online coaching, and we are going to be dismantling that in today's episode. Okay, there are so many skeptics when it comes to online coaching. Like, and yes, there are bad coaches, and at times I've been the guy to blame. Like, when we are dealing with people online, it's very easy on both ends for both the coach and both the athlete to sort of take their foot off the gas, because I'm not seeing you, I'm not face to face with you, and there's like that interpersonal connection that you, I guess, lack by not being there physically. Sometimes gets exploited via the internet or via leaving it up to you know to chance, essentially, when two people aren't really a good fit together, or when one person isn't working too hard. When we're talking about the client, if you have somebody like an athlete that's working online with you, they're not working too hard and you're not so motivated to catch up with them as a coach, and then that becomes a really bad experience. And I'm telling you, I'm not perfect. I've definitely fried some eggs unintentionally doing that, because I've been frustrated with people that weren't as vigilant, right? But that's a part of patience and that's a part of coaching. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit. Okay, but again, more often than that happens, because it's not that often, some people just don't believe in the process of online coaching. They just think like, yo, if there's nobody in person spotting me, if there's nobody in person counting my reps, if there's nobody in person that is like there physically with me, then it's not, worth it to invest in a coach. And the people that believe like that, or believe that, that is true, and act like that, they only do act like that because whenever they do commit to training, whenever they do commit to any change, um, and they, get someone involved, whether it's a friend, whether it's a mentor or a coach, they don't fully execute everything on their own. Like they need to have their hand held and walked through the experience, which I'm not laughing at you and saying like, oh, that's horrible, but you do have to understand that there is a certain level of responsibility and accountability that comes with investing in yourself. Like you don't just put the money down and get the body, right? You've got to put the time in, you've got to pay attention, you've got to be willing to learn, and you've got to be willing to apply most importantly, because information without implementation is just fucking noise, right? And we don't want noise, we want changed bodies, we want more muscle, we want more fat loss, more water loss in terms of water weight retention. We want to look better, we want to be better, be stronger, be healthier, right? And so to get all of those things, you can meet someone to help you, whether they're professional bodybuilder, whether they're whoever they are, anybody that knows what they're doing can help you. But it's up to you to help yourself after a certain point once you get the knowledge, or at least while you're getting the support, to take advantage of it, to ask as many questions as possible, to learn as much as you possibly can in that experience so that you can keep the knowledge with you so that if anything ever does happen in the future, you can rely on yourself to fix the problem instead of relying on that friend, instead of relying on that coach, instead of relying on that mentor. Every single time a fire breaks loose, you'll be able to put out the fire on your own. Okay. And that's an edge that online coaching has over in person training, but we're going to dive into that. Okay. So, again, most people prefer in person coaching because they feel it's a little bit more intimate. Okay. And even though it is more physically intimate, the reality is it's not better than online coaching. And here's why. It's very simple. And let me know if you've ever been in this scenario. Okay, if you're a trainer and you're listening to this, just laugh with me if you've ever been in this scenario. If you've, if you're a trainee or someone that's been trained, an athlete, let me know if this has been you. Look, all a in-person trainer has to do is stand there and watch you or teach you to execute these movements in the gym. Okay. Now, granted, if you're an absolute newbie, you've never been to the gym, like that's going to be beneficial no matter where you put it. Okay. No matter which way you put it, that will be beneficial. Right. So for beginners, I'm not going to argue with you. But for anyone who knows how to use gym equipment, for anyone that's actually been to the gym and knows the problem is really consistency instead of learning new movements, the basics, you're just paying someone to be beside you and watch you work out. Like, are you telling me that you're incapable of counting to 10? Are you telling me that you're incapable of looking at your watch to see how much rest you're having? Are you telling me that you are incapable to go anywhere alone? Okay, because you need somebody to be there with you in a say in an environment that makes you feel a little bit anxious. Which is, I get it. It's natural for people that haven't been going to the gym to feel anxious or nervous or embarrassed when they go to the gym when they go in alone. But regardless of if you have a coach there or not, that's something you're going to have to face regardless. Like it's just inevitable. It's a part of the equation. And it's a really beautiful part of the process because it actually shows you, or at least you get the chance to develop your confidence alone in a place where you don't think, it's actually comfortable. But you gain comfort and you improve your confidence by putting yourself in that room, in that gym with the people that likely make you nervous. Okay, so that's something you can improve on. And that's a, something that I find is amazing that online coaching in a backwards way really does provide, because it gives you the instructions on how to do everything. Okay, whoever's on the other end, if your online coaches, whoever they are, and their experience in their field and their physique speaks it, and so on and so forth, they're giving you their knowledge, whatever helped them become successful as an athlete or as a coach, and it's up to you to apply it. And you take that with you and you embody that and you go alone and you develop your discipline and your habits. You don't have someone walk you into the gym, shake your hand, count to 10 for you, tell you when to breathe, wipe your ass for you, so on and so forth, and basically fork feed you, right? You develop those skills on your own, which is something that online coaching, I can't lie, is amazing at. It teaches people how to take the knowledge and just fucking apply it instead of waiting for someone to apply it for them or with them, and in a sense become that excuse. Because like, and let me know if this has ever been you listening to this, if you've ever been trained by a coach and maybe something came up on your schedule, okay, and then you want to reschedule with that coach, but they've got a booked calendar, so you can't reschedule with them. And now here it is. Oh fuck, I didn't go to the gym for 3 months because my coach got busy for me one week, and then that's it. Because you're relying on a coach, like you're relying on a human being or something else other than yourself to handle your responsibilities and to handle your discipline, which is not the way that it should work. And which is why the business model for in-person training is kind of it's that's why I think it's so successful. It relies on people relying on other people. Okay. And when you have like a model like that, no one's really going to make any progress because not everybody, even if you are the most resourceful, the most dependable, and you're always there and you're always the most flexible, there are going to be times where you're going to miss. And it just takes one fucking slip, okay? One slip for you to, oh, I'm off for the week, I'm off for the month, I'm off for the year, just because of one slip of a personal trainer that just didn't have the time. And they would have had the time if they did, but they don't, right? And now you use that as a scapegoat to not go to the gym. And who's that gonna impact or affect? You. But even worse, your bank account, because you're gonna go back to the same gym, hire the same coach with the same problems, and do the same fucking thing every single year because you haven't learned to go to the gym on your fucking own. Does that make sense? So the ability to go to the gym on your own and do something that is working for you and getting results on your own and developing that discipline, facing the anxiety, destroying the depression and conquering your nervousness, those things that's the key. That's literally the key to open the door of consistency. Because if you can go to the gym by yourself, I mean, I'm not telling you to be a loner, but if you have the ability, if not having someone there to train with is not an obstacle for you to not go to the gym, you're already ahead of at least 97% of the people because they require either an in-person trainer or their best buddy or their whoever it is to be there at the gym with them or they will not go. And you don't know how many pounds of fat and decreased health that's put people in just simply waiting for other people and using others as a scapegoat to say, oh, well, I'm not going to go to the gym because my trainer and this and that. Just fucking go. That's what online coaching sort of in a subconscious way teaches you to do. Right. So again, if you already know how to use equipment, you've been going to the gym, you just struggle with going and being consistent and getting results with your nutrition as well, you should not be looking to hire an in person trainer because you're just paying someone to stand beside you, count to 10, tell you when to fucking breathe, tell you when to wipe your ass, fork feed you, just so that when they don't show up the next day because they're a human being and they've got a life too, you're going to skip out on your whole entire year of progress and fuck everything up. And that's not even to say most in person trainers don't even like, they don't even give you nutrition protocols. I've seen how these gyms work. They just say, "Come with me, train with me, go home, and then come back tomorrow." And that's all that your package consists of. And maybe they might throw in like a random meal plan in there that's cookie cutter and being given out to a billion people. Okay. Which is another thing we're going to talk about when it comes to customization and optimizing your nutrition and optimizing your training for specific fitness results based on your specific physique. That's something that online coaching just crushes when it comes to comparing to in-person training where it's pretty vanilla. Do these 3 workouts, 4 workouts. I'm going to show you this, talk to you for a little bit. Maybe I'll watch you do some cardio. Then you leave. You'll feel good about yourself. And yes, you did go to the gym, which is awesome. But will you actually be making progress? Think about it. Look at anybody that's ever hired a personal trainer in the last 2 years, any of your friends. See how much different they are. Okay, and I'm not saying this to say like in-person training will never work. It has never worked on anybody. I'm just saying for most of you, it's not the best option. Period. Because that's how most of you operate. Okay? Again, they'll do those things. They'll teach you how to train or at least breathe and do all the basics in the gym. So if you're a basic, you're a beginner and you've never been there, good for you. You can learn that. You can choose to invest in that, but YouTube is free, is something that I like to say. Okay? You do all those things, but if you're at least a little bit advanced and you hire an in-person trainer, you're doing all that and they're not even giving you all the knowledge you need in order to achieve your body goals. And when I say all the knowledge, I'm talking about all the knowledge, not just going to the gym and training. I'm saying you're going to the gym, you're training as hard as you can. And when training gets easy, something is changed so that training is hard. So that training is not that it sucks, but so that you're getting the most out of it that you possibly could in the time that you're going. You're getting on top of that, you're getting the ability to train whenever you need based off of if you've got kids, what the hours that you work, if they're random, if you're on a platoon shift and you can't train consistently at one specific time with a coach in person. Online coaching gives you the liberty the freedom to train whenever you need. You don't need your coach there with you. And if you ever have a question for them, it's technically they're always with you. It's in your pocket. The phone is right there. You pull it out, you text, and you get your answer. Instead of having to, meet somebody in person or make a phone call and not have it picked up, whatever it is. It's more accessible and more sustainable than in-person coaching. Okay? So online coaching allows people to actually learn the process of changing their body instead of just having extra company at the gym. That's what I'm getting at here. Does that make sense to you? Like the coach teaches you in online coaching how to eat specifically for your body and how to create custom nutrition protocols for your body based off of the foods you like, the seasonings you like to eat. And ultimately, they get the food that you like to eat at home, that you already like to cook, that you already know how to season, and transform it in a way where you're only eating a certain amount for an outcome. It's not that we're forcing you to eat rice and chicken and asparagus or boring shit. I personally, for my clients, create custom workout protocols based with foods that they already like. So basically, what it looks like, for example, whether it's in their check-in or whether it's in their application, they're going to tell me, "Oh, I like these certain foods," and if they're clean foods, whole foods, I'll incorporate them because why not? They already like it. Their body is already used to digesting it. So when it comes to their body's ability to respond to the nutrition, it's likely going to be very efficient because it's something that they already eat. Instead of forcing you to eat something brand new, which if you've ever been with an in-person trainer, that's typically what it feels like because the plan that they're giving you isn't custom. It isn't tailored to the what you eat or what you like or how you've been eating in terms of the selection of healthy foods that you've we'll say selected over the years. Okay. The online coach teaches you what workouts you should do for X result. And when I say X result, I mean X result, whatever it is that you need. If you're looking for fat loss, there's an approach that's going to be different from building muscle, which is going to be different from competing in certain sports or athletics or whatever it is. Okay, or getting ready for a vacation. Whatever specific result, always, if not more than in my in-person coaching, gets met because with that much detail, the information that's provided to the online coach is just a godsend. We can turn anything into gold. Why? Because you give us the information. You say, "This is my schedule. This is what I like to eat. This, that, and the other thing." And then the online coach, if they're responsible, creates something that is custom, that is going to just fit like a puzzle piece into your life, so that you can get the results that you need without feeling like it's actually like, "Oh my god, I'm making this humongous change, and I fucking hate eating this way," and this, that, and the other thing. You know what I mean? Like that's the beauty of it, the customization and having weekly, if not bi-weekly, or just check-ins in general that are more frequent than not, which in-person trainers don't do, that again, when provided with that information, they can tweak certain workouts to hit certain weak muscle groups. They can change nutrition so that, okay, well, if you were making progress this week and last week, but this week you're not making progress and you're not making progress next week, right? And we see that as a reflection in the check ins with that information. We can change and further customize your nutrition so that you optimize your results and everything is expedited, everything is faster, everything is more efficient. It feels more natural. And instead of going to your coach, in-person coach, stepping on the scale, right, and looking at the mirror, and then figuring out, okay, well, I don't like the way that I look and the way that I weigh, and it's spaced so far apart when it comes to the time that you need that help and that change in that week's protocol versus when you actually meet that in-person trainer and you actually do all the biometrics and measuring. Like you're already in a hole that's quite deep, and even still, they don't provide a custom nutrition protocol. They just sort of throw this meal plan at you and say, okay, eat this, and this is healthy, and this is like a bunch of salad, blah, 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 and you're gonna lose weight. And typically doesn't work because you come back the following week and the following month, if you even do at all, and pay them just to stay the same. That's just a fact. Okay. Whereas, I mean, and let's also talk about this. And I already talked about this earlier on in this episode where online coaching teaches you how to actually be independent so you do not need a coach around forever. Like one thing I always tell all of my natural nomads, and shout out to one of them who just joined the live stream here, Manraj, what's good. So one of the things that I always tell the natural nomads at the Natural Nomad Academy is that I don't want to be your coach forever. Like I would love to be, because if you made it into the program and you qualified, we're already a good fit. Okay. But you do not need to have a coach forever. And if you have someone like a mentor or a friend or a coach that you need to constantly depend on forever in order to change, then it's not something that you should be looking into because you need to be able to, in a sense, fly out of the nest on your own. Okay, and take the information that was provided to you and apply it when you do make a mistake, or apply it when things do go south, because they will. Right, just because you hit your goal physique and everything's fucking amazing and you went on vacation doesn't mean you're not going to get you know hunger pangs, doesn't mean that you're not going to at least once or twice fuck up. And you need to know how to change, how to adapt, how to fix any problem that does come up, how to, in a sense, extinguish any fire as it does come up, because it will. And if your coach isn't teaching you how to extinguish fires on your own, then you got to really evaluate what you're doing with your coach. Okay. I love my clients and I would love to work with them forever. But I always tell them from the moment they join, my goal is to have you graduate the Natural Nomad Academy and keep the information that I've ripped out of my head and downloaded into yours. Keep that, so that when you do have that question, when you do make that fuck up, when this error happens, which is inevitable, it will happen. You will screw up because we're human beings. You know what to do, and you don't need to, oh, coach, this happened. Oh, coach, that happened. This, that, and the other thing. Okay, not to say that I won't help. I will love to help. I always love helping, which is what I'm doing right now, telling you guys this message, sharing these opinions with you. But it is much more of a wholesome feeling, and you get more of, actually you get all of what you invested in by not only asking questions while you're with the coach, but taking that information and keeping it in your brain and applying it on your own and seeing the results as well. And I encourage everybody to do this, even if you are working with your coach. Okay. Whenever there's a problem that comes up, try to fix it on your own. And if you can't fix it with the information that you were provided, then you reach out to your coach and say, hey, coach, this is going on. I tried this and that, the other thing, and this didn't work. So what might I need to change? And then you'll know what works for your specific body. Because yes, Google is free and it works for most people, but there are like some things about you, some things about everybody that make us different and that make our metabolism not the same, that makes our our body's production of insulin not the same, and this, that, and the other thing, and gut health, all these variables, right? So you're gonna have to figure out how to fix a problem that is your problem, not just any general problem, but that something that you have that is specific to you, that is tailored to you, that will essentially be fixed by the online coach that you're working with, so that you can have that fix, keep it in your back pocket. And so whenever that does happen in the future, when you graduate the coaching program, you can fix the problem. You don't need to keep going back to the coach, right? So keep that in mind. If you aren't learning much from your coach, that's something you got to be aware of. And let's be fair here. What do you really learn in-person coaching except for fucking how to lift, how to be a basic beginner lifter, right? And see, that's where the value is when it comes to online coaching and in-person training, or at least one of the many points of value that online coaching has over in-person training. Okay, so again, in-person training typically, again, this is not including athletes at a high caliber, because I had an in-person coach when I was a freestyle wrestler. I had an in-person coach when I was beginning my bodybuilding journey to show me how a bodybuilder should lift. And when I was training with my wrestling coach, he showed me how a wrestler should lift, how a wrestler should train, my endurance practices, my stretching routine, what I need to do physically to be an athlete, or at least a professional athlete. So if you're an athlete and you're looking at in-person coaching or online coaching, it depends. How advanced of an athlete are you? Do you know how certain movements work for your specific sport? Do you know what, at least a baseline beginner? Do you have that common knowledge to know what you need to be doing, and then to stack on top of that with some winning habits and some winning routines that other champions have used? Or do you need to, are you being introduced into the sport for the first time, which again is different for everybody. In a sense, you'll become a beginner in that way, right? So ask yourself these questions, whether you're an athlete or whether you just want to burn some fat. This is something you should pay attention to. Okay, whenever, especially when you are investing in help, in a mentor, and a coach, these are some things that you should be looking for. Okay, all I'm saying to you is in-person training typically only provides about, we'll say what, a rep counter for fucking 30 minutes to an hour, and it depends on you know the time that you're gonna go there to work out, how you're gonna fucking match your schedules, and just all that headache, which could be used as a scapegoat for you to not be consistent later on, and it creates a dependency that stops the athlete or you from actually being able to one day be sufficient on your fucking own and extinguish fires when they do come, because they will. Like that's not sustainable. That's not it. That is not coaching. That is babying, and babying won't get you very far. Might be able to learn how to crawl, take a couple baby steps, but you're going to fall over and continue to crawl if you need someone to hold your hand. The coach of the responsibility of an online coach is to let the client, the athlete, know that it's also the responsibility to apply what's being told, but primarily that everything that's being told is specifically for them, that it's not cookie cutter, that it actually targets their weak points. They improve their weak points, whether they compete, whether they're just a regular human being. Maybe they've got weak legs or weak upper body, and they balance everything out. And all the training is fitting that mold of what their specific perfect body is going to look like when it comes to their nutrition as well and their supplementation. And let's get even into the nitty gritty, even down to their blood work, the lack of micronutrients. Okay, the lack of micronutrients, doing your blood work, your urine work, SHGV, everything to figure out what your health is actually like and what supplements you actually need in order to get your body to perform optimally. Which in in-person training, that level of depth for the average personal trainer at the average commercial gym is non-existent. I'll discredit the in-person trainers that are training athletes specifically and professional athletes because they're down to the wire pretty much like that. And they all pretty much also have online coaching outlets as well. Okay. But for the average viewer, for the average listener that isn't a bodybuilder, that just wants to burn some fat, get rid of the love handles, get rid of the gut, the man boobs, that's not going to work for you. Okay. And look, like my goal as a coach, and my goal when I began coaching, even when I was an in-person coach back in 2018, was to teach and is to teach every single piece of experience and knowledge that I've learned from my head so you can download that information into your brain so you can evolve and keep it there. And so any single time after that point in period when we're done working and you get your results, you have at least 1% of IFBB Pro Matt Butale in your brain to coach you there without me actually being there because I've talked you through this scenario. We've walked through this specific endeavor that you've experienced with your body, which that level of depth can never be achieved with in-person coaching. Not in that 1 hour, 30 minutes that you spend with them. You don't even get to talk about much. Okay. And again, I do not, and I'm going to stress this again. This is something you should be aware of. Never, if you see a coach that's doing this or your coach is doing this, and you realize, they're keeping you around just so that you can depend on them forever to make you work out and eat right. That's not what we should be aiming to do. You should be aiming to grow, learn, get their experience, and get the results. And once you get both, bounce and see how well you can tread on waters your own. And if you really sink into that hole and you have the knowledge, but you just can't get yourself consistent, then I would see that it makes sense to invest in a coach. Okay. And that's after you've graduated a coaching program. But if you've never been in a coaching program, I'm telling you personally, you are missing out on a lot, especially with online coaching, because not only is it just one on one, it's a community. All right. We are meatheads here listening to the Meathead on the Mic podcast, episode number 147. And what I'm telling you is this culture exists in the Natural Nomad Academy, where we get to have our meaningful banter. We meet new friends all online, right? We have new people that we can confide in with the communities, with the spaces, with the private meetings that we have, right? Like all of these things are only pluses. You can never get that experience with an in-person training unless you go there with your friends, and even then, it's the same people. Whereas online, you get to meet people from around the world that have similar interests in you, might even have similar struggles, and you can bounce ideas off of, excluding the coach. So when it comes to just, they say you are who you surround yourself with. You are surrounding yourself with winners that have we'll say a similar mindset that is going to help propel you to where you need to be or where you want to be with your goals when it comes to your physique or competing or things like that with any given online coaching space. So it is far more valuable, in my opinion, and I think now in your opinion, than in-person coaching. Okay. And again, there's a lot more freedom that comes with online coaching. A lot. Like, think of it. If you just decided not to talk to your coach, you don't have to reply to them, but that's on you. Okay. If you decided not to do your workout, it's not like someone's watching you. If you decided not to eat your meal, it's not like someone's there to stalk you down. Right. So there's a lot more freedom, but you know the saying. Okay. And I'm about to butcher it from Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. Okay, with great freedom as well. Because with that freedom, you can often exploit it and end up fucking wasting your money because you hired a coach, but you didn't fucking follow through on everything and you skipped out and you're being a pussy for no reason. And I'm just being a dickhead there, but I do understand things happen. But the fact is, you have a lot of freedom and you can definitely exploit that at your expense. And that's, I think, what a lot of people do with online coaching. They'll join, they're hyped up first week, first 2 weeks getting results. And then something happens and they just sort of lose motivation. And then they don't talk to their coach. Then they don't do this. Then they don't do that. And then before you know it, the coach is a ghost and they're a ghost too, because no one really communicated what was going on. And then there comes the bad notion of online coaching doesn't work. Well, no, you don't work. That's why online coaching didn't work. Because if you did, not only will you have your results, you'll be able to surpass that and keep the knowledge to help yourself and maybe even somebody else in a similar position. Okay. So online coaching has a lot more freedom. Okay. That freedom with the schedule, freedom with the way that you eat and all this and that and the other thing, the knowledge that you are able to absorb, the questions you're able to ask, the availability of the coach that's in your pocket, as I talked about earlier. There's a lot more freedom, which is good. But without acknowledging the added responsibility, that freedom is absolutely fucking useless. Okay? Online coaching forces you to be more independent so that you can keep your results. Not just get them, but keep your results. Okay? And let me tell you this. In-person coaching forces you to be more dependent to keep your results. More dependent. You have to depend on that person. You have to depend on this thing, on that thing, on the other like there are a lot more variables that are going to potentially hold you back or pull you away from going to the gym, from doing what you need to do simply because of what? Oh, well, coach didn't show up or coach had fucking diarrhea and the dog ate the homework and now I'm not going to go. Like, you're creating more obstacles for yourself. Okay? You're creating more obstacles for yourself. So the question is this right before we wrap it up here. What would you rather have? Temporary knowledge, so knowledge you're only going to have for 30 minutes once you're there with them in person, and a crutch of dependence that you need that dependency for just to go to the gym, or would you rather have permanent knowledge and independence as well as boosted confidence because you can go to the gym on your own without creating any dog shit excuse? Look, only one of them allows you to learn how to fix the root cause of your body composition. Only one of them between online coaching and in-person training teaches you how to fix the root causes and gives you the arsenal of weapons that you'll need in your back pocket for when shit does go south. Only one of them does, and it's online coaching. So you can figure that out. All right? That's it. That's all. If you like this episode, share it out with a friend. I hope I was able to deliver a valuable experience to you guys and girls today. Thank you so much for your precious time and attention. Also, just a shout out to those of you that are serious. 2023 is around the corner. We're about 5 days away. And on the 31st of December, 11:59 p.m., prices will be going up. But luckily for you, if you're listening to this today, it is Boxing Day. Okay, or Boxing Week for some of you folks that go crazy. And I got a 40% discount to anybody that is serious enough and has the guts to reach out and qualify for the Natural Nomad Academy. Because again, I don't take anybody or everybody that applies. You've got to qualify. We have to be a good match, or online coaching just won't work, as I mentioned in this episode, if you paid full attention. All right. So if that's something you're interested in, if you want to put on some muscle to compete at your very first natural bodybuilding show, or you just want to lose some fucking fat, you want to get rid of your man boobs and shrink that gut, feel free to shoot me a DM and I'll see if we'll be a good fit. All right. Don't forget to screenshot and share this out on your Instagram story. Let them know that you're watching. Let them know that you're getting value from the Meathead on the Mic podcast. Let's embrace your inner meatheads together. All right. It's been nice chatting. Hope you like what today's topic was about. IFBB PRO Matt Butale signing out. Boom. All right, folks. I love that episode. That one felt good to release. Let's look at some comments here before we fly out. I'm seeing some comments here. I'm not sure where they're from. Oh, Bruce on Facebook. What's good, bro? Says absolutely awesome podcast. I appreciate you, Bruce. Thanks for tuning in on Facebook there, brother. See what we got on TikTok. Dom says the world needs more people like you. I appreciate you, Dom. Jay, Merry Christmas. Thanks for the message. Steven, I'm not going to reply to your comment. Real Complex, thanks for the glitter badge. Real Complex, thanks for the, is it cow emoji? I don't know. He gave me 6 of the gifts. Real Complex says, I got you. 100, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy holidays to you too, brother. I appreciate you showing up, showing love, and giving those gifts. Harshan says, hello. Hey, what's up to you? Armin says, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Salute to you, Armin. Hope you had a pretty sick weekend. Liam says, sup, buddy? What's good, bruh? Tim says, oh, the hair. I appreciate you, fam. You know what I do. Just changing up the style for a little bit. I'll probably go back to my normal puffy ponytail in a bit. Blaze says, I need your help, blood. Hit me up. Let's see what there's to talk about. 334 likes on TikTok. Cool. That's awesome. Thanks for the like on Facebook, Bruce. Let's look at Instagram real quick before we fly out. Joe, what's good? Goons Maroon, what's up? Also, Joe had a question at the beginning, and that I'm going to answer real quick. It says, what's the best way to lose weight in the midsection? So to answer your question very, very bluntly, there is no way to specifically like lose weight in one specific area. The way the body works is when you're growing, everything's going to grow, and when you're cutting, everything's going to cut. But some people do have more fat or more muscle displaced on their body based on genetics and just so many other variables, right? What I will recommend to you, Joe, is just focusing on losing weight altogether, and everything that's big is just going to get smaller, including the gut, right? And so when that gets smaller, and you get it to a point where it either nearly vanishes or completely vanishes, you can focus on building muscle and controlling the amount of fat and water you put on in that process, right? And so when you do that, you put on some muscle over the small amount of fat. It's going to give that illusion that you're a lot leaner than you are, and will reduce the like the visual size of the midsection. But here's the catch: it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take you, depending on what your situation is, 6, 8 months, up to a year to 2 years, depending on what your situation is. I can't really specify, but that's something that I would say to you, Joe, and anybody that has a question similar to that, which is the best way to lose fat in the midsection. So calorie deficit over a period of time, and also really focus on building muscle, because the more muscle you have on your physique, the more fat you can burn in a rested state, which is just, long story short, an increased BMR. BMR stands for basal metabolic rate. So you increase that, the more muscle you put on your physique, which is why you should also be focusing on building muscle as you cut fat. Kirk, what's good? Appreciate you. Ben, what's good? Shout out to Natural Nomad Ben. He's fucking crushing it. Jacob, what's good? Lizzie, what's up? Appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Zach, Yuri says, hope you had a great Christmas, bruh. Yeah, man, you too, brother. I see you mugging the IG, bro. I appreciate you, Zach. I can't pronounce her name properly. Underscore said CEDYSS. I can't say that, but I appreciate you for tuning in. Alicia says, Matt, you're gorgeous. Yes, on top. I appreciate you. Thank you, Lizzie. Luke, what the fuck is up? Justin, what's up? Justin Jaden. Morris, what's good? Misfir, what's up? Faraz, salam alaikum, bro. What's good? Yoshi, Mr. Karan, what's up? He also got he said something there, but Misfir says, you're a guy who's in great shape and knows how to get others in shape. Is it best to get certified as a personal trainer, or just start promoting on your Instagram to attract clients? So you need to, okay, look, so like doing one thing yourself is one thing, but getting in shape yourself is one thing. Getting somebody else in shape is another thing. Getting somebody else in shape that looks like the other, like that looks like you, that's somebody that wants help, is another level of like, I would say, like, knowledge, right? So you can have all the experience in the world, which is amazing, because experience is like the best. Knowledge with experience, though, is just always better. So get your knowledge. So I would say get your certificate, not for the sake of having a certificate, but just to get knowledge that you might not have. If you have the knowledge of a personal trainer, and personal trainers, and maybe you've been certified in the past and you're thinking about recertifying, that's up to you. But are you really going to be learning anything more than you already know? And if the answer is no, then I don't see why you would do that. And if the answer is yes, then of course you need more knowledge. There's no such thing as too much knowledge. Paired with experience, it would make it a lot better. So again, I don't really talk to trainers on this. I talk to people that want to lose weight. But if that's something that you have a question about, and you don't have much information, you don't have much knowledge, but you have experience in terms of like you got yourself in shape, then I would always dive in, because again, not everyone's going to be like you. Not everyone's going to have the same digestion. Not everyone's going to have the same metabolism, or not. Some people will have certain deficiencies, genetic deficiencies, or aren't able to process certain foods. So you can't just like cut and paste your way of doing shit and expect it to work for them because it works for you. So knowledge is a thing that you need to exploit there if you've got experience. But that's a pretty good question, Miss Fair. Yoshi, what's good? Let's go. You know what it is, Manraj, former natural nomad. He graduated the academy. What's good, bro? He says, Matt, how do I get rid of my HGH gut? So he always trolls me when he joins these live streams. So again, that's like the culture we have at the Natural Nomad Academy. We're all pulling each other's legs, but we're making sure we're fucking working. All right. So Big K, what's good? Appreciate you for tuning in earlier. Yoshi says, my coach told me he doesn't like training abs. I had to change coaches. In all fairness, I personally don't like training. I like training everything, but I don't train abs much, because I mean, It's not that beneficial for me in the off season. Having a strong core is worth it. I won't lie. Like you will be stronger in every other lift. But when it comes down to it, if I'm in a pinch at the gym, abs are the first thing I'm cutting out of the workout. But abs are definitely beneficial to train. But you kill me. You have to change coaches. Lizzie says, I'd love for you to be my coach forever. I appreciate you, Lizzie. Shoot an application at the Natural Nomad Academy. The link's in my bio. Yoshi Karan says, also depends on who your coach is. You know, everyone can claims to be a coach. Definitely. Again, as I was talking about earlier on, it's a fucking fruit fly over here now. It makes me just want to rip my hair out. As I mentioned earlier on, experience is one thing. Like, say you competed, you want to show, like that's one thing. You have experience, you know what that's like, but you can't really apply that to other people if you lack knowledge. So always learn more, and that's something I learned more actually about when I was working with. Shout out to Brett Godin, who was one of my coaches at one point in time in 2020, and like his level of knowledge and expertise in his field and other fields that he wasn't even really targeting in terms of like he's able to help everybody, but he helps a specific a group of people, but his knowledge is so vast he can help everybody. You know what I mean? Something like that, right? So it opened my eyes up to like, okay, I can help this certain person. I can help men, right? I can help the competitor, but how well can I help them? And can I help more people or different people with the knowledge that I have in my head? Those are the questions I started asking myself. And then before you know it, the answer was, well, fuck no. I don't know what to do with a diabetic. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with that. And so I invested in knowledge, right? Put my time into YouTube, put my time into Google, looked at other health coaches, learned from other health coaches, things of that sort, right? And broaden my knowledge in conjunction with my crazy experience being a 23-year-old IFBB pro at the time, right? So definitely does depend. Kirkwood is good. Shout out to Kirk. He just turned IFBB pro earlier on this month. So shout out to Kirk. Lucy says, "Oh wow, you're amazing. You're a wrestler too. That's amazing. I appreciate you." Yeah, I was a wrestler back then. About I don't know how many years ago that was. Now I think I had my last bout in 2014 or 15. So we're pretty much approaching year number 8 of me not being a wrestler anymore. Yoshi says you should get a coach that's D's because they've been through the process. Definitely, man. But I'll also say that there are jacked coaches that know how to get people jacked, but don't know how to help somebody else just lose some fat. Just because, again, they've got the experience, but the knowledge is not there because maybe this person that's fat and want to lose weight has this gut thing or has diabetes or this, that, and the other thing. And the conventional way of doing things doesn't work for them, right? So that's something that you've got to keep into account, right? Just because they look good, and I guess this is a blow to myself, but whatever. Just because they look good doesn't mean that they, have all the information that you would require in order to get the desired outcome. All right, but for the most part, jack coaches that you can look on their pages and like you can see how they think and the tips they give. It'll be pretty self-explanatory to see like who knows what they're talking about and who's just like copying pasting shit. So definitely you can say that, or you can look at that. Lizzie says I'm weak right now. You're always thirsting. I appreciate you though. Mr. Biggs, what the fuck is good? Lizzie says I love being a meathead. Shout out to you, one of the OG meatheads out here. Vitargo, what's good? My favorite carb supplement company I grew up with in high school. You know what it is. He says Yoshi. What does he say? Yoshi says Matt, check the DM. Definitely will do. Um, Lizzie says I would just want to meet you. Forget. You're killing me. You're killing me. Shaquille was good. What is good? Lizzie says, do you befriend your online coaching clients? How often can we talk to you directly? So with all of my online coaching clients, the Natural Nomad Academy, athletes, and fat loss clients included, yes, you do got to be my friend. And not that like, oh, if you're not my friend, you can't join. Get out of my fucking club. No, it's like a part of the qualification process. If I can just see like the energy that you carry when we talk together and message each other, or like when you fill out the application, I can pretty much get a good feeling as to like how serious this person is, how long they've been following me, so that like I know if they mesh with like my coaching style and the way that I am, because I can be pretty fucking blunt sometimes. And for most people, that's like not what they want because it's a little bit harsh, it's a little bit rude. But that's the way that I love to coach. And I could change my coaching style, but that just wouldn't be authentic. And I'd rather be authentic than conform to someone else's reality for any fucking reason. So with that said, we do got to mesh beforehand. And I won't even send you an application unless we can already mesh and I can see what you want. You're clear about your goals. You're serious about it. Like that's the bottom line. I will never work with anybody that I don't like, and you should neither. Okay. I mean, if you have the choice, okay. So that's a good question. She says, I'd love in person. I don't do in person. I stopped doing in person 2018. So farewell to that. Online coaching is the way. Rome, what's good? I appreciate you. Shout out to IFBB Pro Ramon Hayes, one of the first to ever do it. Appreciate you, fam. It's been a minute. We got to connect, man. Alicia says you're so exciting to watch. Appreciate you. Big cases 100. You know what to do, boy. You talk fast too. Yeah, I talk fast. I'm mildly caffeinated, but I also have a lot. I speak 100 miles a minute because that's kind of how I think. And I'm like, yo, if I don't get this idea out, I'm gonna forget it. So let me just spit it out. Even if I fuck it up, I'll just go back and like say it better. But that's me. I'm imperfect. That's cool. Zach, Merry Christmas, my boy. Christmas trees, baby, please. You gotta show these back double B's. You know what I'm saying? The back double bicep showing the Christmas. Shay, what's good? Uh Mathushan or Mr. Vigor, what's good? Florida Champs, what's up? Ace Teach, what's good? Abdel, what the fuck is happening? You know what it do. Let's see here. Ohio Man's. Okay, this is definitely a troll because nobody likes Ohio. It says L physique, L coach, L results. Hilarious. I know you're like 13. Don't lie. You're probably 12 or 13 years old. Let's see here. Ohio Man says, you don't get to choose whether you like your customers or not. It's just throwing away money. You could look at it that way, but I think, and forgive me if I'm like misjudging you here, bro, because I don't know who you are or whatever, you're online. You don't really know what you're talking about. You could definitely take the money and work with as many people as you want that you don't like, but it's going to make you fucking hate doing what you do. And I'm telling you this personally with experience as someone who's been an entrepreneur for now, almost 2023 is going to be 3 years. I've been working for myself. And every single time that I had somebody that I didn't fucking mesh with and they didn't listen and it was just fucking annoying, bro, it's not worth any of the money in the world if it makes me hate doing what I do. So I just got to let them go. You know what I mean? And that's no insult to you. I don't know if you know what's good. You know what I mean? But that's what's good, bro. With experience, like you'll understand. Not every penny is worth every penny if it takes away your pleasure. Okay. Ohio Man says if they don't like your coaching style, then just let them leave. No, definitely, definitely. I actually encourage that because then I will tell them I'm not interested in helping you if you're not interested in helping yourself, and if we don't have a connection, it speaks for itself. Ohio Man says W coach now. Shout out to you, bro. You kill me, bro. Hope you have a sick ass day, and I hope you had a Merry Christmas over the weekend, and that your New Year's is full of joy, prosperity, and success, my boy, and also gains, right? Because why the fuck not? Lizzie says, I love your bluntness. Don't change. Yes, I won't change. I won't. I try to, but it just doesn't work. You can see right through it. You know, there's some days where I'm super chill. There's some days where I just like, I'm gonna kill you, like, but with love. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna tell you what you need to do, and if you don't, I'm gonna slap you in your head. But that works for my athletes, so that's fine. Um, Zach says I'm snowed in. I can't even go to the gym. Fuck the snow, bro. Fuck the snow. Okay, you're gonna run through the snow head first, and you're gonna go to the gym. Call that an ice bath. I'm fucking with you. Relax, rest up. It's not gonna kill you. You know, just go when the snow's down. I know that you would go anyway, but if it's not safe, stay your ass inside because it's not worth death. It's not worth an injury, and you know about the injury, so we're not gonna just knock on wood. We're not even gonna talk about that, bro. Lissy says, okay, so this is off topic. Lissy says, do you want kids? Um, and then she says, I would definitely not leave. So me, uh, yeah, I grew up in a big family, big fat family. I'm like, if yeah, second out of 7 kids, right? Grew up with 5, second out of 7 kids. I love, kids. You know, I'm gonna have kids in the future, God willing, if God allows me to, and if I don't die before it's my time, then yeah. Would definitely not leave. Much love. I love you, Lizzie. You know what it is. All love. Uh Ohio Man says, I have a good physique. All I hit is 1,000 push-ups a week, and that keeps me looking good. So definitely the beginning, and this is assuming that you're at the beginning of your training journey. Like, I don't know how old you are, but that routine sounds like something I did when I was, about 12, 13, 14 in that area. And you will make a shit ton of gains, especially as you go throughout puberty, if you just keep that up, right? Like, you'd be surprised. 1,000 push-ups a week while you're going through puberty, which is your body's natural, so he's 18, still there, up till 21 for most men. Natural testosterone boost in production. So it's essentially your body's naturally giving you sauce, gear. Do everything you can to maximize off of that. Because by the time you hit 21 and you have that foundation and that base is like under you, making gains is not only really easy to make, but very, very easy to keep, right? And it'll keep you in shape for the rest of your life. So keep abusing that, bro. But again, also listen to your body, balance shit out. Don't just do push-ups. Make it 1,000 squats in a week. Make it 1,000 sit-ups in a week as well. And if you can, 1,000 pull-ups in a week, 1,000 bicep curls in a week, 1,000 tricep extensions in a week. shoulder raises in a week, even if you're fucking just raising the air or pillows or rice bags or whatever it is. Balance out your physique. Don't just train one thing because then you're gonna be that guy at 21 with just chest and nothing else. All right. So train everything as equally as you do right now. All right. Keep that in your mind. But I appreciate you for sharing that, bro. Damien says something that I'm not going to read online because some men are just mad on TikTok, straight up. Zach says, I got trend for Christmas. Can you pull up and help me pin it? Fuck off. Yo, Zach, you're ridiculous, bro. You're a guy, man. See, that's what I'm saying. We're natural nomads here at the Natural Nomad Academy. Even if you're not natural, it's like we're always shooting this shit, man. We're always shooting this shit. And it makes it fun because I don't like you want to be with people that you basically talk to in the gym, right? That's who you should want to work with, right? You shouldn't want to work with someone that you're afraid of, someone that you can't talk to, someone that you can't express yourself to in the most authentic way. So that's what it do, man. That's what it do, man. Okay, I'm gonna read it just because it's funny. Damien says, I farted in your toaster, extra protein. Bro, you're such a shithead. I don't even know who you are, but what the fuck, man? That's funny. Lurkers says rapper. I don't know what you mean by that. But guys and girls, we've been on here cooking for a bit. It's about an hour, 50 minutes, 51 minutes, and it was a Gucci ass podcast today. I'm really glad that y'all tuned in and y'all spent this time with me. But you know what it is. The episode is wrapped up. We'll be back again. You know what time it is. IFBB Pro Matt Butale signing out. Boom.